All right, y'all, welcome to the Scott Horton Show. I'm the director of the Libertarian Institute, editorial director of antiwar.com, author of the book Fool's Errand, Time to End the War in Afghanistan, and the brand new Enough Already, Time to End the War on Terrorism. And I've recorded more than 5,500 interviews since 2003, almost all on foreign policy, and all available for you at scotthorton.org. You can sign up for the podcast feed there, and the full interview archive is also available at youtube.com/Scott Horton Show.
All right, you guys. This one's sort of kind of like an infomercial sort of a thing, but I don't care. It's all right. My new advertiser, Jared Wall, and he and his lovely wife, whose name is really hard to pronounce and so hard to memorize, they run the Hemp Spot. Thehempspot.com, but you got to spell the THC. Haha, get it? It's like a pun kind of thing. The Hemp Spot. And what it is, it's pot on the internet. And that's because it's Delta-8 THC, some kind of funny isomer that gets through a legal loophole where Jared and his lovely wife can sell pot on the internet. Welcome back to the show. Welcome to the show. How you doing, Jared?
Yeah, very happy to be here. I'm excited to join you.
All right, well. So...
and my wife's name is Karubo, by the way. It's a Swahili name, so yeah, it's definitely difficult to pronounce and memorize. So no problem there.
Yeah, she's a great lady. I like
her.
Yeah, we all hung out together at the Libertarian Party State Convention in North Carolina, where I gave a talk, and you guys sold bud to people right out there in the open, like with no sheriff's department stopping by. It was great. So
yeah, it was awesome.
How's that work
really
that
funny.
You can sell jars of bud on the open market without the sheriff's department dropping by like that?
Well, it was kind of funny. I didn't really even know that Delta-8 was a thing until about 7 or 8 months ago. I was the hempspot.com, THChempspot.com. That's not really my that's not where most of our money comes from by any means. We're really just getting started with this online business thing. But I was traveling for my day job, and as I was checking into the hotel, the man behind the counter was going through his usual spiel as, when checkout time is and when the bar opens and all this stuff. So I asked him, I said, I wasn't really interested in trying to get, my drink on that night by any means, but I asked him, he seemed kind of like a chill guy. So I asked him, I said, hey, any chance you know someone or some place where I might be able to find some cannabis around here instead? And he just suggested, he was like, go to this CBD shop. It's about 10 minutes from here. It's like, oh man, I don't want CBD. I want the real stuff. And but I didn't have anything else to do, so I went and checked it out. And I walked into the CBD store. I had never been in a CBD store before. And I asked the man behind the counter there. I was like, so tell me about this CBD stuff. Is it anything like the real thing? And he was like, you want to check out this Delta-8? It's a new product that's it's THC. And I was like, it's THC, really? I thought that was illegal. And so he started telling me a little bit about it, that it's Delta-8, and kind of like you mentioned, it's just a different isomer, a different variant of the THC polymer that fell through the loophole when DC passed the farm bills of 2014 and 2018 that legalized industrial hemp, hemp production for clothing or rope or plastics or petroleum products, things like that. But in that bill, when they legalized industrial hemp, they were trying to make sure that people couldn't get high as a result of it, couldn't get that nice reverse headache feeling. And so what they did was they mandated that anybody who's growing hemp for, this industrial purposes, it has to have less than 0.3% THC. THC obviously is the chemical that has the psychotropic effects. And but what they did when they said it has to be less than 0.3% THC, they specified Delta-9 THC, which makes sense. It's by far the most commonly found variant of THC. But, in the years since, people have figured out that there are other variants of THC. And if they focus on those, then they can sell pot legally and be perfectly above board with these farm bill laws. And so you can see, you walk into any Delta-8 or any CBD store around the country, and you'll more than likely find Delta-8 for sale. And if you buy it and try it, it's you'll be shocked. It's the same exact thing.
Rad. All right. Well, so what about if somebody has a job where they got to take a piss test all the time, or say they were on probation for having some pot in their pocket already one day or something like that?
Yeah, they would. They would probably want to be more careful. They will piss hot. They'll test positive. Those tests aren't that sophisticated to be able to tell the difference between Delta-8 THC and Delta-9 THC.
So
You
it'll
could
give them a
probably,
positive on there. That's too bad.
yeah, it's too bad.
Well,
They could
anyway.
probably fight it and prove it in a court of law, but all of that is a major headache.
Yeah. Hey, listen, to each his own and everything, but I made a joke about this in the ad that I cut for you. But it's really true that I do have a friend who's got a drinking problem, and I'm always telling him, man, you should just smoke pot instead. And you know what, to each his own. And for people who drink and don't have a problem, that's fine. But if you got a problem with drinking, well, all the people you care about the most are sick of you because you're drunk all the time. Well, man, maybe you should just become a pothead instead. It couldn't be that bad. I don't know.
I
Works for
mean,
me.
you're not going to have the same, an alcoholic has problems where they black out and get in car accidents and beat their wives and, all kinds of stuff. I don't know many potheads that have those kind of issues. In fact, I don't know any potheads that have those kind of issues.
Yeah, seriously, man. Be a better world. Like Bill Hicks said, pot shouldn't just be legalized, it should be mandatory. Shut up and smoke that. Here. All right? Oh, yeah. Hey. I thought this all mattered. Guess it doesn't. Hey, y'all, check out my new book, Enough Already. Time to End the War on Terrorism at EnoughAlreadyBook.net. Early reviews are that people either think it's hilarious or they get so angry that they put it down. But it's the Iranian Revolution, the 80s Afghan War, the Iran-Iraq War, Iraq War I, Iraq War 1.5, and then Afghanistan, Iraq War II, Somalia, Pakistan, Libya, Syria, Iraq War III, Yemen, and all the special operations wars throughout Africa in the aftermath of the war in Libya. It's all there for you. Might change your friend's mind. Enough already. Time to end the war on terrorism at EnoughAlreadyBook.net.
Hey guys, Scott Horton here for ExpandDesigns.com. Harley Abbott and his crew do an outstanding job designing, building, and maintaining my sites, and they'll do great work for you. You need a new website? Go to ExpandDesigns.com/Scott and save $500. Hey guys, check out Listen and Think audiobooks. They're at listenandthink.com and, of course, on audible.com. And they feature my book, Fool's Errand, Time to End the War in Afghanistan, as well as brand new Out Inside Syria by our friend Reese Ehrlich, and a lot of other great books, mostly by libertarians there. Reese might be one exception, but essentially they're all libertarian audiobooks. And here's how you can get a lifetime subscription to Listen and Think audiobooks. Just donate $100 to The Scott Horton Show at scotthorton.org/donate.
All right. Anyway, well, listen. So I think this is great. Now, in how many of the 50 states is this no problem for people to receive pot from the hempspot.com in their mailbox? Spelling the with a C for the E.
Yeah, I haven't gone through and, really done the research on a state by state and jurisdiction by jurisdiction basis, because that's more or less impossible. Like, there's some states that are fine with it, and then there's cities or towns that are a little bit less thrilled about it. The thing is that it's legal on the federal level, and even in the states and the jurisdictions that have tried to make it illegal or close that loophole, there are ongoing, legal battles associated with it. And so, I'm not, in my conversations with attorneys as we were getting this started, we did some kind of had some consultations to get a better feel for the legal side of the business. and they were basically trying to tell me without telling me that, like, you'll be all right. Basically, like, there's no talk at the federal level of trying to do anything about Delta-8, and the states that have tried to do something about Delta-8, it's still kind of ongoing. There's ongoing legal battles. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, as far as shipping it through the mail, the USPS we've been using, we've had no problems. We include with every shipment that we make, we include a letter, saying that, hey, this falls under shipment of lawful hemp, per the Farm Bill, subsection such and such, paragraph such and such, etc. So we've got all of that documentation that we include with every shipment. And beyond that, we've got third-party independent lab testing of every product that we sell, that you can go online and see exactly how much THC is in whatever product you want to buy, how much, if there's any pesticides or what levels of CBD is in it. And so you can be very confident that it does meet that less than 0.3% Delta-9 THC threshold, but still have plenty of the Delta-8 THC that'll get you feeling good.
Cool, man. All right. And now, so it seems like you could, I don't know about the post office because who's got the authority to say, but it seems like you could put in a call to UPS and FedEx and get an official opinion by them about what they think of this, or have they put out an official statement saying, go ahead and use us to ship this stuff as long as it's within this loophole, or could you get them to tell you?
That's a really good question. I should reach out to their legal department and see if I can get clarification on that. I've been using the post office so far just because it's a little bit cheaper, but and because they're everywhere. But I mean, yeah, UPS and FedEx, that would be an option too. But I have not researched, how they're dealing with this Delta-8 stuff. I know that they're shipping CBD product. So I would imagine that they would ship Delta-8 product as well. It's basically impossible to tell the difference just by looking at it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a really good question. I need to research that for my own business purposes.
Yeah. Forget DHL. They're a bunch of rats, so you don't want to bother with them.
Yeah, I've heard that about them.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I think this is great. And legal loopholes, you can get one.
Yeah,
So,
I think.
How's the business going so far? I mean, tell me, well, also say what you were going to say just now.
Well, I was going to get into kind of, what excites me about the industry a little bit, in terms of, you talk about the wars all the time, but I know you also talk about the war on drugs pretty regularly too. And, I just love this story of market ingenuity beats, state and political prohibition. I kind of liken it to Uber coming up and basically destroying the taxi medallion system in New York City. It's great for consumers, and it really, all of those issues with the war on drugs, all the people losing their freedom, getting locked up, thrown behind bars, or all the violence that has come out of the war on drugs between the gangs and the cartels. I was just listening to your interview with Dave Cohen about what's going on in Colombia. And so, I love that story of the market just saying, you know what, we're smarter than you. These prohibitions are stupid, and we're just going to go ahead and figure out a way to play within your rules, but also get around your rules at the same time. I really like that story.
All right. Well,
one last thing I would say to that point, and kind of, it's kind of the question that I've gotten over the years is, do I prefer legalization or decriminalization? And any movement in the direction of reducing the number of laws associated with anything, but especially with drugs, is a good step in the right direction. But as far as legalization versus decriminalization, I prefer the term decriminalization over legalization, just because I like to think that, the ultimate goal should be to have no crimes associated with these, products, at all. So no occupational licensing barriers to entry, for people who want to start to go down the entrepreneurial path in these industries. And the war on drugs over the years has been most hard on poor minorities, poor blacks here in the US. And legalization and decriminalization should help those communities more than anybody, just because it should be such a simple entry into this industry and into this economic sector, and be able to start buying and selling these products.
And seriously, just think of, and this is the most extreme case, but still, just think of how many people have gotten shot based on interactions with cops who claim that they smelled pot. And so now they get to open a door, grab a person, escalate, and create a conflict. And people die over that. So, yeah, you're right. They're like, hey, pal, this is just, the legal stuff. I only like the smell of it, or whatever, means that it kind of nullifies all of that. As and I guess in some states they've already officially repealed that as a possible probable cause on the books. I've read that. So, yeah, that's so important too, because it's such a license to persecute people. And who could ever say that a cop didn't smell weed if he says he did? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's such a giant, excuse and a loophole through the law that they get to abuse all the time.
Absolutely. And even, we were kind of talking about how some states and some jurisdictions are trying to outlaw Delta-8 and close that loophole. Colorado, believe it or not, is one of the first states that went that direction. And it shocked me because Colorado was one of the leading states on, just legal weed in general. What I found out is that it's the big corporate legal cannabis interests in Colorado and in other states that are lobbying to close the Delta-8 loophole, basically to shut off their competition, which just, it drives me crazy, and is all the more reason why I want to grow, this Delta-8 business, as big as I can, just to kind of stick it in those people's finger that, we fought for so long, for so many years, to end this prohibition. And now the people who are making money off of that prohibition want to do the same thing, just so that it protects them, so that it helps their pocketbook and helps their bottom line and their profit and loss.
It's so corrupt. They don't even know how ashamed they should be. It's just crazy.
As if we even live in a free market economy.
Yeah, in any way. Which, by the way, I knew a guy who had a farm up there growing weed in Colorado, and then the Albanian mafia came and said, your farm belongs to us now. And he said to them, you're right, it sure does. And got the hell out of there. Because it's still a quasi black market. There's enough taxes on it, and there's neighboring states still have it criminalized, all these things. So the prices haven't really fallen. It's not really an open access type market. It's still essentially a black market or a gray market in many ways. And so it's still run by gangsters. So you didn't decriminalize it. You kept it criminalized. Just,
Exactly. By putting all of those taxes on it, it makes it, it's still cheaper to just go to your guy,
Right.
And that's what I heard that specifically about the state of Washington, that they had their taxes so high that it was just cheaper to continue operating in the black market. And so,
the whole time I lived in LA, I never went to those stores, get a medical license and all this stuff. I just, I got a friend.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, I like that. That's one of the other things I like about Delta-8 is that it's not all hung up in this medical industry and legality world,
Right.
So you can just walk into a store, give the dude some cash and walk out. You don't have to leave your name. You don't have to even use a credit card. Your name doesn't have to be involved with it anywhere. I mean, if you buy online, that's not the case. But you know, a lot of these medical databases of people getting pot cards and whatnot, I've been hearing rumors, and I haven't really looked into if it's beyond just rumor, but that they're going to start using those lists, or that they might start using those lists as excuses to not allow people to buy firearms.
And they have, yeah, no, in some places that's been a problem already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, so it's just crazy. So I mean, again, any opening that we get where there's an opportunity to kind of bypass these laws that they have on the books, I think it's important to take advantage of those.
Yeah, man. All right. So, and now tell us real quick, and I've got to go in a minute, but tell us about the website. Tell us about what you got, the different kinds, and this and that, and I don't know, make your pitch.
Yeah, sure. So it's the Hemp Spot. We spell it THC hempspot.com. You spell out THC Hemp Spot, it kind of looks like the Hemp Spot, so it's just kind of a fun play on words there. It was the best domain still available when I was looking. But anyway, yeah, we've got 4 different kinds of buds for sale currently. Different levels of THC. If you've got a real high tolerance, you want something strong, we got something for you. If you're new to it, we got something for you also. Lesser milligrams of Delta-8 THC per gram of bud, of flower is what we call it online. We've also got pre-rolled cigarettes, pre-rolled joints essentially, that they just get shipped to you, and all you have to do is spark it up. You don't have to grind any flower or roll it up or anything like that. And we've also got a whole bunch of edibles available, from gummies to honey sticks to peanut brittle, and we're adding new products all the time. We got a new flower that's going to be coming in. That currently our strongest flower is about 50 milligrams of Delta-8 THC per gram. This new flower that I just ordered, that we're going to be getting in stock here soon, is going to have 260 milligrams of Delta-8 THC per gram. So it's going to be about 4 times stronger, which personally I'm excited for it. My brother-in-law, who's been partaking of our products, is excited about it. So yeah, it's the Hemp Spot, THCHempspot.com, and if they use coupon code Horton, they get, right now we've got a grand opening celebration going on through the end of July. Right now they'll get 30% off, plus you get a cut, just for helping spread the word here, and just because I like what you do and I want to help support your show. So if somebody wants to help support your show and get high at the same time, the Hemp Spot is the place to do it. THCHempspot.com.
All right. Thanks, Jared. Appreciate it, man.
Definitely. Thanks for having me, Scott.
All right, you guys. That's Jared Wall, thehempspot.com. Check it out.
The Scott Horton Show, Anti-War Radio, can be heard on KPFK 90.7 FM in LA, APSradio.com, antiwar.com, scotthorton.org, and libertarianinstitute.org.